From McAllen, Texas, as we talked about. Just watching what's going on the border. Now, President Donald Trump was in Michigan for a rally over the weekend on Saturday. You might have seen some special coverage on America's Voice where I was hosting that coverage. And one of the things he talked about, obviously he talked about the $355 million. He talked about the border. He talked about the economy. And he talked about my next guest, Pete Hoekstra, the former ambassador to the Netherlands, former 9-term congressman from Michigan, former House Intelligence Committee chair. Pete Hoekstra, who there's been this civil war. Anybody outside of Michigan might not know this, but they might because it's gotten national headlines. A civil war for the control of the Republican Party. And Pete's back with me now, having been recognized by the Republican National Committee and then praised quite openly by Donald Trump from the podium on Saturday. Pete, good to have you back.
Always good to be with you, Steve.
So let's talk about this. I mean, this is, and look, thing about Democrats, as you know, Pete, they walk in lockstep together every single day, every single time. Republicans, not so much. And so you have this divide of so-called grassroots that are fighting the rhinos, as they put it, and you've got these internal battles. And it's not just Michigan. Michigan's has come to a head with a battle over Christina Karamo's the chair. You are now officially the chair from all accounts that I have. The RNC looked at your petition, or however they looked at it, they evaluated it, and then Donald Trump, he had a lot of nice things to say about you on Saturday, Pete.
He really did, and I had the opportunity to then fly back to Florida with the president, and we had a great conversation about what we need to do in Michigan, what his aspirations are for what he wants to get done as president. And so it was a great day on Saturday. It was good to see the president back in Michigan.
So obviously a great day on Saturday, but not a great week for Donald Trump. Now, there were some good things. The whole meltdown in Georgia, Fani Willis, Nathan Wade, that whole spectacle just undermines, to me and to millions of other Americans, what a joke the whole prosecution of the president is. 91 felonies total across all these different jurisdictions. But Georgia was supposed to be the case that they were going to get him. They're going to get him, Pete. This is the case. This case is an absolute train wreck. Fani Willis portrayed herself like somebody who ought to be on the Jerry Springer show. It was embarrassing to me and to many others. I don't know that she's going to be disqualified or not. She should be for conflict of interest. So he had that good thing. Then, of course, the $355 million judgment against him and his companies in New York. I don't know what the process is here, but it certainly is not a good way to end the week. Let's start with the Georgia case, though. I don't know if you guys had a chance to talk about that on the flight back to Florida on Trump Force One, but what is the president feeling right now? What is Donald Trump feeling? I mean, he's getting hit from every direction.
I think the president, I think he's feeling really, really good. The rally went very well. I think what he's seeing is, and what he's thought all along, that the case in Georgia, again, was just an outright political attack on him, not based on a lot of evidence or anything like that he had done anything wrong. I think that was proven or demonstrated during the last week. We saw the case in Florida on the classified information. That is falling apart. President Joe Biden takes classified information, not when he's president, but when he's vice president, when he's a senator, takes it home, shares it with his biographer, and the Justice Department says, he's kind of an older guy, kind of forgetful. That's okay. We're not going to prosecute you. Versus the treatment of Donald Trump. The average American looks at this and says, this is crazy. What's the difference here? So the case in Florida is falling apart. The case in New York, where there's actually no victim, okay, and he gets fined $355 million, that case is going to fall apart. So I think, from a legal standpoint, I think the president and his team believe that they had a pretty good week, and that, we can get back, in which the president has really never stopped doing. It's focus on the issues and focus on exactly what Joe Biden and his administration are doing to America.
Yeah, and I think you're right about that, Pete. And as you know, I'm in McAllen, Texas here. and we landed in the afternoon yesterday, and there not a lot of evidence of the open border here in McAllen, not openly on the streets, but we're talking to people. We're going for a tour today and tomorrow. We're going to walk that border. We're going to look at the open parts of that border where Donald Trump's wall was built and never completed. They said you can go through it like a slalom course. You in, out, cross back and forth. You're on the American side. You're on the Mexican side. And there's no command and control. Now, currently, most of the illegals have shifted to the west. This is how this operates, by the way. You probably realize this. When there's active resistance, like there was in McAllen here a while back, well, then they shifted down the line. They went to Eagle Pass. They went to Del Rio. Now they're into Arizona, New Mexico, California. They go where they follow the path of least resistance. Makes sense, right?
No, absolutely. And they get across the border, and the sad thing at that point in time is the path of least resistance is to just about any town in America. And you have a Biden administration that is, I didn't read the full story, but maybe you saw it as well, where imagine this. We have migrants coming across the border illegally. They come here and they get all kinds of benefits. And I think there's a story this past weekend saying that they get some folks are getting the benefits equivalent or maybe through a program which is designed to give benefits to our veterans. And you look at this and say, how does this happen? At the rally on
how
Saturday,
is that even possible?
People,
and
how is that even possible?
It's universal. People are like shocked. It's universal that, wait a second. The illegals come here, they get a cell phone. Some get gift cards worth as much as $5,000. They're getting benefits that are supposed to go to veterans. They're living in hotels, getting 3 meals a day, while 40,000 veterans last night slept in the street somewhere. It doesn't make any sense, does it?
No, it doesn't make any sense. And at the rally on Saturday, I don't know if you saw the guy, but he had about 5-inch, 6-inch spiked haircut right down the middle of his head. And and someone introduced him to me, and we were talking. You know what he's doing? He's walking across America for the third time. He's raising money for veterans.
As he should.
This is absolutely
what's
crazy.
Sad about that, Pete, is we give away piles of money to every cause under the sun and forget about our veterans. All right, Pete Hoekstra, hold that thought right there, because it's something else that's really important that the president talks about. And he's done it a couple of times in Michigan, the last 2 times he's been here, but should be a warning to the rest of the country. That is our energy supply and this push towards green energy and EVs, which is just killing us. And it's killing the auto industry and killing manufacturing jobs. We're going to talk about that. Plus, the other thing about illegal immigration, I call it illegal shift of representation. Michigan's lost members of Congress each of the last 3 cycles of the census, going to states like California that are counting illegals to get extra members of Congress that they're not entitled to. I've been talking about this for years. Finally, others are paying attention as well. We'll be back with Pete Hoekstra and have a lot more straight ahead, live from McAllen, Texas. I'm Steve Gruber, and this is The Steve Gruber Show.